Namaskar, hello and welcome friends to Finavision, your one-stop solution for CFA exams. My name is Shushmit Aditya Mukherjee. I'm an educator and an investment research analyst, and this video is a short excerpt from the full class series for CFA Level 3 curriculum. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get started.
Interest rate linkage with exchange rates. Interest rate linkage with exchange rates. So let's say there are two countries A and B. A and B. Now, in the initial condition, they are having unrestricted capital flows and they are having fixed exchange rates which are expected to be fixed forever. Now, in that kind of a scenario, they will have identical yield curves. They will have identical yield curves. So let's say we denote country A with orange line in the yield curve and country B with green line in the yield curve. The two countries will have the same identical overlapping yield curve. So, if the capital flow is unrestricted and the exchange rates are expected to be fixed forever, they are fixed now and they are expected to be fixed forever, then the two countries will share the yield curve. If the yield curve in country B is like this, A's yield curve will just overlap this. A's yield curve will just overlap this, right? So two conditions have to be fulfilled. One is capital flows have to be unrestricted and second condition is exchange rates have to be fixed forever. So fixed now and fixed in the future also, right? Now we change the condition just a little bit. The exchange rates are fixed now, but they are expected to be floating. There is risk that in the future, one country may float with respect to the other in terms of exchange rate. In that case, what will happen? In that case, the country with the weaker economics and weaker currency will have higher yields, which means, let's say B is weaker here. So, if A has a yield curve like this, B will have a yield curve which is above A. So, it can be something like this. It may be parallel, it may not be parallel, it depends, but it will be above. The yields will be higher across the board of maturities. Then, exchange rates are floating. Exchange rates are floating and capital flows are unrestricted. In that case, the countries will have independent monetary policies. Independent monetary policies, but this can also lead to volatility, higher volatility due to capital inflows and outflows. Now we look at another case where exchange rates are fixed forever, expected to be fixed forever, and capital flows are restricted. Capital flows are restricted. In this case, the exchange rates will be stable. The exchange rates will be stable. And economics can also be stable provided capital inflows are balanced with capital outflows. Large inflows or large outflows can result in pressure on inflation rates provided you are trying to fix the exchange rate, right? For example, let's say the capital inflows are far exceeding the capital outflows. This will put upward pressure on the asset prices and ultimately the exchange rates may have to break or you will face lots of inflation. So this kind of situation can be faced. So when you are trying to restrict the capital flows with a fixed exchange rate, one has to also balance between the capital inflows and the capital outflows. And if they're able to manage capital inflows with capital outflows, the yield curves will be very, very similar. The yield curves will be very, very similar. But this scenario is actually unrealistic because if a country is looking to restrict capital inflows and outflows, this means they are looking for an independent economic policy, which means a stable or a fixed exchange rate is not a permanent thing for this country. So this means the second option, that is the exchange rates may be fixed now, but they are at risk of floating, that is more valid. So the first situation actually leads to investor believing that the fixed rate is not going to be fixed forever. This means the exchange rates risk change, and the yield curves will diverge. So yield curves will diverge means they will have different interest rates with respect to different maturities. And what if capital flows are restricted combined with floating exchange rates? Now this is the ideal scenario of completely independent monetary and fiscal and economic situations. So this is the ideal scenario for having an independent monetary policy. Ideal situation for independent monetary policy, right? If the internal economics are stable and strong, this is the way to go, that you manage the different industries based on their situation. You try to manage the capital inflows and outflows so that your internal industries grow according to your strategic situation. And because you have a strong economics, you can manage the exchange rates also. But this last scenario has to be handled carefully because there can be froth. You can be subsidizing a weak industry in your country which does not evolve well. This can be one case. Second case, there can be capital allocation problems. Capital may not be allocated efficiently there. So these kind of problems are there. So friends, that's about it in this chapter. Thank you so much for being with me in this class. See you in the next class.
The link to the full class video is given in the description below. Please check that out. Thank you so much friends for being with me till the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more such classes. Share your feedback in the comment section below and share this video with a friend who may find this helpful. For enrollment to practical application courses, internships and CFA curriculum classes, check the description below. Till then, keep watching Finnovision. See you in the next class.